Yes, sir.
Good evening, everybody. Uh, Welcome to the program. And the Sonu sir will be covering the lecture on Annabhau Sathe. And the title of his speech is Visit of Annabhau Sathe to Russia and Afanasy Nikitin to India, Assemble and Disassemble. This is his topic, such a wonderful topic, wonderful and interesting topic by Dr. Sonu Saini sir. He's an assistant professor at Jawaharlal Nehru University. He teaches Russian, and he had a very good, what do you say? He was the pioneer of the program of our, one of the pioneer of our program at Moscow, at Pushkin Institute. Let me begin with the introduction of Sonu sir in Marathi. Sir.
A very good evening to one and all present here. The Center for Central Eurasian Study and the Department of Russian, University of Mumbai have jointly organized a Facebook Live lecture series on the occasion of the birth centenary year celebration of Sahitya Ratna Lokshahid Annabhau Sathe, in which I, Rutuja Raut, welcome you all. Like other dignitaries, today we have again a special person to share his valuable insights with all of us. It is a great honor and pleasure for me to introduce our speaker, Dr. Sonu Saini. Dr. Sonu Saini is a well-known expert and scholar of Russian literature and Russian language in India. He is working as assistant professor at Jawaharlal Nehru University, New Delhi. He has completed his PhD in Russian documentary prose from the University of Delhi and taught there for some years. Dr. Sonu Saini is considered as one of the leading experts in the field of innovative teachings of Russian language as well as online teaching. He has received several awards and honors in India as well as in abroad for performing well in many international level competitions. He was awarded as the Best Young Teacher of Russian Language by RCHC Embassy of Russia in 2010, as well as the Best Teacher of Russian Studies Abroad by the Government of Russian Federation in 2014. Dr. Sonu Saini has published 2 books, 5 journals, and 23 research articles in reputed journals in India and Russia. Dr. Sonu Saini has traveled to many countries of the world and is often called at international level conferences and seminars as an expertise. He has been teaching Russian for free through his website www.sonusaini.com. He has special interest in translating literature from Russian into Hindi and English and working in this field for more than 10 years. Recently, about 100 stories of M. Zhoschenko were translated and published by jointly Dr. Sonu Saini with another reputed translator. Dr. Sonu Saini has instrumentally contributed in organizing and making successful an international conference held on 16th and 17th September 2019 at Pushkin State University of Russian Language, Moscow. Once again, I welcome you, sir, on this wonderful platform for sharing your views with us and giving your time and sharing your thoughts with all of us. Thank you so much once again for giving your time and accepting our request. Thank you, sir. It's over to you.
Thank you very much. I would first of all welcome you all and thank you for inviting Professor Sanjay Deshpande. I think there is some mic is on. Some Kashyap.
Yes, sir.
Can you just check whose mic was on?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm doing it.
Somebody is saying thank you and we are getting, I think, this kind of sound. Okay, that's fine. I think that. Okay, so thank you very much. I would like to just thank Professor Sanjay Deshpande, Dr. Baliramji, Sunil Vareji, Kashyap, Ria for inviting me, and others also who were there in the team of Annabhau Sate's MGD organization. Thank you for inviting me, and it was really wonderful experience to work with you. I hope the audio is clear. We were getting some messages that voice is not there.
Sir, it is clear now.
It is clear?
Yes.
Okay. So we can see that, some like Anand Salve and the user with Galaxy A20 and later, 3 people have not joined with the audio. That's why the audio will not go. So first of all, just would like to tell, like while joining the Zoom meeting, you need to click on the option join with phone audio or computer audio. Or in case you're not getting voice or any technical issue, then of course the Facebook page live is going on over there. And we'll try to include you and your comments and your questions from that side also. With this, I would request Baliramji and Kashyapji to help me with the questions which are there on the Facebook or here in the chat box.
Absolutely.
Sure, sir, we are there.
So I was just feeling like it was wonderful working with you, wonderful experience working with the group on Annabhau Sate. We got to know, we learned a lot about this great personality. And later on, like when I visited some of the universities, like such as Pune universities recently in February, I found that a specially dedicated center or department is established over there, and they are studying especially the Annabhau Sate's work or the collections, and other studies are going on this personality. And then later on, I found that such kind of departments are there, many in Maharashtra as well as in other states, which are engaged into the studies of Annabhau Sate. That's really nice to see this one. And I remember that recently, not recently, but yeah, in last year in September, when we all visited Moscow, I was there in Pushkin Institute at that time, and then more than 300 participants, people or the followers or these teachers or various profiles were there, from IAS officer to the a person who is engaged in various kind of like teaching, or it can be business and all. So all kind of participants were there in Moscow who joined that conference, which was dedicated to Annabhau Sate in Pushkin Institute. And that time it was really nice and great to have worked with you. Now, let me just share my screen, the PowerPoint presentation with you. I hope you're getting the PowerPoint presentation now. So my first, okay, before going to the question, like this is what we are going to talk about: visit of Annabhau Sate to Russia and Afanasy Nikitin to India. Semblance and dissemblance. So as like we started with the question, is audio of the or video of the event is working fine? So please answer in the chat box. It can be with yes or it can be with plus. If there is some interruption, if there is some like problem, then please write minus. Please type minus over there. So we'll take just 30 seconds we'll wait for your answers. So dear friends, I would like to also say that, we're going to have a kind of interactive session, not like just a lecture kind of based. So meanwhile, like I'll be asking you some questions, or I'll be, asking your opinion. So please be ready with that. So I can see that various plus signs are appearing from Manideepa Ball, Kashyap, Satish, plus the Dikti Deshpande. So you can just write like 5 more seconds. We'll wait in case there is some disruption. I hope all fine now. So my next question. So I'll start with the questions. I think that will be a good way to start. Let us see. So what do you think? Why do people write travelogue? Give me just one sentence, or maybe 2 words or 3 words. Answer in such kind of way. that why people write travelogue when they visit somewhere. So what are the reason? What compel them about writing a travelogue? As like we are going to talk about the travelogue, of course, I'm not going to much into theory, because I can just what I got to learn that people are not most of the people are not teachers or the language or literature scientists over here, but there may be just people who would like to have the general phenomena, general explanation on the topic. So that's why I'll just have this question, the basic question: why people do write travelogue? So we are getting the questions, answers, sharing experiences of people. Satish Kapseji said, and places. Then Kashyap says it may serve as a guide for the future traveler. That's good. Baliramji said that to cherish and memories and arrest memories in words. Wow, what a word! Memory, arrest memories. That's good. Yeah, actually we are arresting the memories. Okay, now then Dipti Deshpande ji said,
pen down the memories of the places one visits. That's good. Yes. Manideepa ji says so that others also can know about that country and create interns in traveling. That's good. Rutuja Roth says it can be maintained as a record for further studies. Okay. That's good. Any other answers or questions? You can just write in the chat box. Baliramji again says to achieve victory over forgetfulness. Yes, that's really a very nice answer. Actually, the human memory is very short. You know that we can see a lot of things
on the news, breaking news type of things. We can have a discussion over 2-3 days on the media, and then after certain point of time, like we forget everything. So that is what human memory. It is actually natural. So Famina ji says to share their experiences about different places so that other can
make use of it. Okay, I'm missing some of the comments. So, okay, Shankar ji says to find out difference between two countries. Okay, that's good. Subhash Kumar says to keep record the things and make way for new travelers. Okay, that's good. To learn the cultures. Okay. Okay, Baliram ji again says, Riya Kumari says one can experience other countries' culture. Okay. Divyam ji says because of our natural memory system cannot preserve details for a long time. Yes, good. Thank you very much for your active response. I'm really grateful and thankful to you for your answers or your comments. Satish Kaspe saying, please, dear Ashok ji, please do not raise hand at this point of time. Of course, you will get a mic,
but maybe after the talk. Currently, we are just taking the comments and questions in the chat box only. So we are also trying to follow the chat box on Facebook, and I request Kashyap to help me with that. And Baliram ji, in case like I miss some comment or question, so please help me with that. I'm trying to covering.
Yes, definitely.
Satish Kasbe ji says to inspire other to explore the unexplored. Okay, that's good. Very nice. To give live experience what exactly happened. Okay, by Aarti Ware. That's good. Good. Very nice.
So thank you very much for all the comments and your opinion about why do we write travelogue. You know, why do we write travelogue? I also like everybody has his or her own opinion. That's okay. But what I found while studying the travelogue as a genre, that this is a human tendency. When we go somewhere, we try to capture the memories. Now, let me just find out this question. The next question is related to today's era. Do you think you also create travelogue while visiting a new place? Like, for example, you just recollect your last visit to some state, some area, some village, some country. Did you think that you made some or you created some travelogue while visiting that place? Just say yes or no, or plus or minus. Just, or maybe simple that plus or minus. Plus means yes, you created some travelogue or you wrote something, or plus minus, that means you didn't create any travelogue. So we're getting yes. Okay, plus. Quickly, like 10 seconds. 10 seconds we have. Shandar Kudreji says S. I don't know what is S. Maybe by mistake he meant to say yes. Anand Kambleji plus. Rutuja also says plus. Okay, plus. Shankarji plus. Okay, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So everybody says plus. That's good. That's good. And you know that even people who are thinking that they do not create travelogue, I would say that's wrong. Because as like one of the Subhash, I think said, Subhashji said that we create travelogue, but not in a form of books or writing, but we create the memories into photographs. Like we take photos or videos. That is just like human tendency of each traveler. When they travel to a new place, they create this travelogue type of thing. Even earlier, like when I was just going through the reasons why Afanasy Nikitin wrote, like you just just imagine, like in 1466, you know, before the before like 500, 600 years ago, like what was the scenario? People didn't know how to write, how to read, and that person, Afanasy Nikitin, comes from Russia, and then here came just to write the travelogue. No. He was not here for travelogue. He was here for business. That was his profession, right? And of course, then that was his habit. Or we can just say that as people, they like currently today, you are able to create travelogue because you have the phone, you have the camera, you have the devices to create such kind of genre memories, and these kind of memories you create on everyday basis, like just to keep it safe. At that time, of course, Afanasy Nikitin created this because he had that kind of medium, that kind of, just we say way to create that travelogue. Now, the two works which we studied is The Journey Beyond Three Seas, which is based on the Afanasy Nikitin. Please make it clear that it's not written, the book is not written by Afanasy Nikitin. The book is based on the notes which were written by Afanasy Nikitin. Afanasy Nikitin even didn't reach, even could not reach back to Russia. He was died in between, like while he was returning, while he was going back to Russia, he died during the way, on his way to Russia. And Annabhav Sathe, he visited, like nearly we can just say around 60 years ago in 1961. And he wrote this My Journey to Russia. You can just imagine the time. At even 1961, people didn't have the cameras. Of course, at some places they had, some people they had the cameras, but it was not the privilege to so that everybody can have such kind of cameras or devices to create memories. So that time, the major thing was pen and paper. And that is what Annabhav Sathe also did. He also created this, kind of travelogue and wrote his experiences about his visit. So just to give you a brief, like many of us already know that who this Afanasy Nikitin is. I'm just telling the people who are, just going through this topic for the first time. He was a merchant from Tver. Tver is one of the city in Russia. And he visited Caucasus, Persia, Crimea, and then came to India. And during his journey, it was, he crossed 3 seas. That is why his travelogue is named as The Journey Beyond 3 Seas. And the notes he made during his visit, like the period he stayed here in India, if I'm not wrong, he was here for, I think, 3 years. So, he stayed here, and what he experienced, what he observed, he wrote about that experiences. So what is basically his notes about? His notes are about in details like the social structure, political structure, farming, cultural aspect, day-to-day life, religion, etc. And you know that it's also very important for an observer. Why we call it like why we give so much importance to Afanasi Niketan? Because he paid attention to such kind of minute type of details of a particular culture and just try to explain it. And then he gives us this thing like how the country was there, was visible, country was, how these people lived around 600 years ago. And of course, during his, while he was writing, of course, he would also include his feelings, because when people write, they also include their interpretation, their feelings. And he, as I told, that he died during his journey to his native land. And what I found is also, that studied by various scholars that his travelogue came out without any formal education. So it is one of the similarities with the Annabhau Sathe, who did not have any formal education, but he learned on his own. We can just say that the society, it is the society which teaches you a lot. So that is the same common, we can say that feature or common function which we found also in Afanasi Niketan, that he did not have any formal education, but he had interest. And in a similar way, Annabhau Sathe also could not get any formal education due to financial condition, and but he learned on his own with the challenges, and he wrote a lot of works. We'll talk about Annabhau Sathe after Afanasi Niketan, and you may be knowing that that you may know that the film based on the travelogue of Afanasi Niketan, The Journey Beyond Three Seas, was a film was made on his notes. A film was called Pardesi, or in English it was like The Journey Beyond Three Seas. It was made jointly by the Indian director and Russian director together at that time, when the relations between India and Soviet Union, the former Soviet Union, were at peak. So the Annabhau Sathe, most of you, I'm sure that you already know, this personality. Can I request? Can you write one word defining Annabhau Sathe? One word in the chat box. Who already know Annabhau Sathe? One word, if you can just define him. Of course, it's very difficult to define this personality in one word, but still we can see like what we get from you. So we'll just wait for 30 seconds. You have 30 seconds. Write any word for Annabhau Sathe, what it is. Sahitya Ratna. Wonderful. Satish Kasbe wrote first. Rarest gem. Baliramji writes. Wonderful. Let's see. Progressive poet. Devdatta ji says. Come on. Dear friends, please write who, if you know Annabhau Sathe. I just wanted to hear from you that what do you think about Annabhau Sathe? What it is Annabhau Sathe in your kind of thinking? Emancipator. Satish Kasbe says. Nobel laureate. Baliramji again says. Observer. Akhori Nitish says. Observer. Very nice. Yes, of course, he was a true observer. Agree. Baliramji again says explorer. Baliramji, only one word. You are cheating. You are saying you are taking 3 words. It's a cheating.
Okay.
Kashyapji, do we have some answers in the Facebook, on the Facebook Live? Kashyapji? Hello, 1, 2, 3, alpha 3, alpha 1, alpha 2. Kashyapji? Is Kashyap here? I think. Okay, yeah, he's here. I think might be.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Kashyapji, any comment, any question, any comment from the Facebook Live?
Yes, sir. He is pioneer of constitution.
Please read the name also. Who has said what?
Yeah, by Aarti Ware, madam.
Okay. Okay.
And there is another question by Sunil Ware sir, and
Yeah.
that is, which are 3 C's in the 3 C's of Afanas Niketan?
Okay. Questions will take a bit later, but let me just come to this one
Yes, sir.
to share the. Just wanted to hear from you, like what it is actually, what the Annabhav Sathe comes. Okay, let me just see what. Before going to this, Kashyap, any other comment from Facebook? Because I cannot.
Sir, by Ware madam, there is a comment saying that one word that you asked, constructionist.
Yeah, constructionist. Yes, good. Okay. Of course, he can be considered as constructionist. Constructionist. Okay. Sometimes it is difficult to pronounce some particular words. That's okay. Okay, so we can see that a lot of answers we have from
Realistic
Sabrina
writer
Novel.
by Devidas Kamleji.
What can you repeat, please?
Realistic writer by Devidas Kamleji.
Realistic writer. Okay,
Yeah.
he wrote in realism. All right, good. So Paras says, Kashyap, can you help me with reading the answers from Paras, social reformer?
Yeah, emancipator. Riya
Emancipator.
Kumari writes emancipator, social reformer.
Social reformer.
And then Yogesh Borse, Dr. Yogesh Borse writes Annabhav is pioneer.
Okay, okay. Uh-huh.
Yeah,
And,
other points we have taken.
Okay. Dr. Yogesh Bhaga. Okay, Annabhav is pioneer. All right. Well, I agree. But what I can say that I'll also add my version, my word, and that is a struggler. What I felt while reading his works, while reading his biography, I felt that he is more than a struggler, kind of a person who struggled through his life, not only to learn himself new things, but he also believed to teach people, to motivate people to learn various kind of things in the life, how to live life, not only for himself, but for people. And he taught through various, if you can just read various his works, literary works, which he has written, like he has written 35 novels and 15 collection of short stories, 12 screenplays, 10 ballads and others, and then he wrote a lot of, and based on his writings, a lot of films were made, and the plays were screened based on his works. That all shows, if you just go through, I've just gone through the summary of some of the works, and I found that, okay, he's the personality who was not living for himself only. He was the person who was living for others. And that is what the great thing about Annabhav Sathe. And this fact is, of course, you may know that due to financial condition, his family had to shift from his native place to Mumbai. And for that, they didn't have any money to buy a ticket of bus. And then that was the reason that the whole family walked through more than 200 kilometers to reach Mumbai. And of course, it took a long time. It took 2 months. It reminded me, that the current situation, what is like today, like our brothers, our fellow, workers who have walked through to reach their places, to their native places. They walked days and nights, and they also struggled. They also struggled to manage to reach to their native place. That is also, it's something like it recalled me that history repeats, and something like that it's going on at this time. Now, so what else I found in his works, like it was, of course, he, as I was telling, that he was living for others, like he shows the pitiful conditions of the workers, the nomadic tribes, and horrible life of women in the society, like in second half of previous century. And that his works, of course, like translated into various languages, like 27 languages it was translated. And even some of the works, like when he visited Russia, some of the works were already translated into Russian. And it was surprised, like I remember that that he says in some Fakira, yeah, I remember that it was Fakira, which was translated before he reached Russia. And when he got to know that it is translated into Russian, he was surprised. And then he says that it seems like my works, or I have already reached before my real visit to Russia through my books, because the book does not travel alone; it travels with the writer. So, and in the the story, I think you may be knowing that how he got to go to Russia, and it was of course not easy for anybody to go to Russia at that time also. But he was trying for a long time. He had dreamed to visit Russia, and somehow like he was awarded, he was awarded and by the state government in 1961 for the novel Fakira. He of course he got to know, like he got renowned, and he was of course established writer. So the Indian Soviet Cultural Society, they offered him to visit Russia, and his dream came true. And also, of course, he said once, he said that in his travelogue, he says that I have a dream to visit and see how this the government, like how this state of labor or worker is functioning. Because at that time, if you know that it was workers or the farmers type of government was there, of course, which we called Sarvhara work. And during his visit, visit to Moscow, Sate even proudly recalls like Afanasy Nikitin's first footfall in his state. And in his, I remember that, yes, he mentioned that in his first speech, he says that Maharashtra, I'll quote his words, of course, that will be good. Maharashtra is a state of India where 3.5 billion people speak Marathi, and they are also honest and courageous like you, Mr. Afanasy, visited like you. And Mr. Afanasy visited India, and he also landed his first step to my Marathi land, Maharashtra state, in the empire of Shivaji, unquote. So this is also one of the factors which created the interest to study the travelogue of Annabhau Sathe and Afanasy Nikitin together, and to see how we can found the similarities or dissimilarities, or how the two great figures, they deeply had whether there was some influence, or whether they had some kind of connections, or whether influence of Afanasy Nikitin on Annabhau Sathe. So what we found, of course, that everybody has his or her own way of interpretation. And I think now we are just, because of paucity of time, I'll just make it short. So what I found is, there is one slide here. Here you can just see that in the description, I've just made it the analysis into this table, the whole analysis of the work when we studied that. Afanasy Nikitin, of course, give a description about how the state is functioning, how the farming is going on, and even the minor details, like he says that 100 people, 1,000 people are guarding the fort of the ruler, and how the people are mounting on the horses, or in how the soldiers who are protecting that fort, they're just mounted on horse and going around patrolling, how they are carrying light, and how people sow the ground, that means field, wheat, peas, and how they get the vegetables and all. So these kind of minute details were given by Afanasi Nikitin. In a similar way, I'll not just go on into all the details what he had given about the farming and the state. I'll just come to back to. I'll just give you a brief about that. Like Annabhau Sathe also, when he get to know about Russia while visiting there, he also noted down and described the minor details in his travelogue, such as, like he says that I just quote from his travelogue, and he says we visited the Stalin's shared farm. Stalin's shared farm, as you know, that collective farming was there, so he called it shared farm, which is like a separate state, founded in 1929. At that time, the area acquired by it was 33 acres. In 1934, there were only 2 tractors, but now the farm owned 1,500 hectares of land, and 534 tractors were working there. 1,104 farmers were working in the farm, out of which 475 were women. 4 schools were running in the farm. Near about 2,500 hens were laying the heap of eggs. They set up several milk collections centers to collect the milk of 1,100 cows. They built 375 horses and so on, like hospitals, the schools, the maternity home. All these details were minutely observed and given by Annabhau Sathe. So in this collection, in this category, like they both have given these such kind of minor details. And not, of course, not everybody observes such kind of minor details. That is what, like, I was trying to find out, like what they just observed. While we go to people, culture, of course, they mentioned about the culture. Both the personalities, they mentioned about the culture, how people live, how people, like what kind of, clothing they have, attires, their traditions, their day-to-day life, how it goes on. That is what is also such kind of details were mentioned in the both the authors, the travelogues. And then we come to state, of course, like state functioning, as I told that, that who is ruling and how they are ruling and how cruel they are, what kind of, religious activities also were mentioned by Afanasi Nikitin. Of course, Annabhau Sathe could not observe this kind of detail because it was not there at that time. Religion and such kind of practices were minor, so he could not observe that one. But yes, it was observed clearly in the Afanasi Nikitin's notes. Farming, the details, as I told, that minor details, and it was there about the rulers. Of course, even the Afanasi Nikitin, that what I found about the rulers, like Afanasi Nikitin, observe the name of the, even mentioned the name of the profile, like Knyaz. He wrote Knyaz, which is of course the Russian name, and of course that in his notes we can find it Knyaz, and then with a strict mark it says king, and he wears a fata, like he's describing like how they look, what the rulers, how they walk, how they they are protected with people, and how the servants of Knyaz function, how the kitchen works, how the bow and arrows, and how people walk, the general people. Then he says the people walk naked and barefooted. So I also found such kind of, but very minimum type of description is there. That who says, like Annabhau Sathe also says about the functioning of the state, but not exactly about the Stalin's function. That is what it was. Of course, maybe it was not important at that time, or maybe he could not get this chance. Fauna and their kingdom. This was observed by Afanasi Nikitin, like he says about the monkey. There is one story about monkey. Let me just get you that story. The description about this bird gukuk, he says, and about the monkey, he says. And there is also one very funny story. Of course, that's not correct, because when a traveler visits, so they may get some false kind of beliefs, or because when they interact with people, they may, like when we also go, that we also hear a lot of things which may not be true, but which are there as a subjective interpretation. So one of the what I found is like something like that. I just read of Afanasi Niketin's this from his travelogue. The monkey lives in the hill, and they have their knyaz. Knyaz is like king, who is attended by a host of armed followers. So that means a monkey is the king, and he is followed by various armed soldiers type of other monkeys. When any of them is caught, then they complain to their knyaz. Like if somebody some monkey is caught by somebody, so they just complain to the their king, that monkey, and the army is sent to follow him up, where that monkey is gone, and why he is missing. And when they come to, and of course, like when they come to town, they pull down the houses and the beat. Of course, that is another detail. That is also, when the monkey goes missing, or like he was caught, so they boycott everybody. They boycott all the other monkeys. They do not accept them this monkey back, and that is the way like these monkeys were then taught by people. So something like that. Some cooked up stories which I found, like, of course it is not like that. There were other stories also about the women. Of course, some not a good remarks, like about the women. They were indulged into prostitution. So like some of the women, not all, but people who had sarai or the houses like which they rented out. Then he mentioned, maybe he could not understand. What I found is like he could not understand what these women were for. He said that it is a wife of the honor of the sarai, and then they were indulged into prostitution, and they just make happy of the visitors. But of course that was not maybe the correct story. So in this way, like what I found, a lot of similarities, and the dissimilarities of course were there, because they both are related into the remote time. And the genre which I studied, travelogue, like I'll not go into the theory, but of course like the genre which says the travelogue, or when you write your memories, of course there are components of your subjective point of view, your own feelings. It may contain the hazardous or dangerous information which may be obtained by various people. It may be something like that, like if you are in a village, you may get one kind of stories, and then you start believing on that kind of story, which may not be true. For instance, like something like that, we in our childhood, from my mother, like my mother used to say that don't go to that place. On that tree there is a ghost, so they will catch you in the night, so do not go in the night. And even we started believing it, because everybody was saying like that, and of course we started believing it. And later on we found, okay, there is nothing like ghost and all, because it was just a trick to safeguard children not to go out in the night. So such kind of things were, of course, in every travelers, or when you visit somewhere, you may find, and sometimes we may be caught in some such kind of realities, and we can just sometimes we can just verify the facts. And of course, the travelogue is a kind of interpretation and perception, but it helps a lot the next visitors or these researchers or the other people to know, about, to have a kind of panoramic view of that particular place you have visited. So some colors may vary, of course, in shade from reality, but altogether, I would just like to say and end my talk here. They altogether, like these two narratives, have tried to describe the reality in the framework of travelogue as a part of documentary literature at their best. Thank you very much. Now I would request Baliramji, if we have some questions which I may have missed in the chat box, can you please help me with that?
Yes, sir. Uh, there is one question
Yeah.
regarding the three
Sorry,
C's.
sorry. Maybe I can just answer to the question which I think asked about the C. Vare Saab, I think asked about the C.
That's
which
right. That's right.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
three C's. I remember that it was one was the Black Sea, that is for sure, and
Arabian Sea, Black Sea, and I think Caspian Sea.
Caspian Sea. Yeah, Caspian Sea and Arabian Sea. Arabian Sea, which is near to us, and that's, yeah. I was not recalling that these three C's. Okay. Yes. Yeah, Baliramji. Next
Okay.
question.
People can ask now also, no, if they want.
Yes,
any
they
question.
can ask. We can give them a mic also, and they can write in the chat box also.
Those who have questions, please, you can write in the chat box, please.
Yeah. Or you may raise your hand, and then maybe with the permission, if the organizer give permission, they can just come directly to the mic. I hope it was not that boring.
Oh, no. It was highly interesting, sir. Very innovative.
And I hope like everything is not understood, because we generally always say that if you have understood everything, that means the lecture was boring, or the program was boring, or it was that much interesting that everything is clear.
No,
But
it was
I hope
absolutely
it's not
clear.
like that.
It was absolutely clear, sir. Any questions, please, you can type in the chat box.
And we can interact also. Baliramji, yeah?
Yeah.
Sir, one
Okay,
question
Satish-
from
Satish ji
Satish.
wanted to
Kasve
say
sir,
something.
I am just unmuting you. 1 minute.
Satish ji, I think, is having some
Yes.
question.
Sir, I have
Hello.
unmuted you. Please go ahead.
Yes.
Yeah, Sonu sir.
Ji, please, boliye.
Happy to see you, sir. I had chatted with you on the mobile one-to-one after your book, and there are inspiring stories from you, and you are like a treasure for us on Indo-US, Indo-Russian relations. So
Thank
there
you.
is a lot
Thank
to
you.
learn from you. So whenever you come to Mumbai, sir, we will try to meet. And I come to Delhi, I will meet you, sir.
Sure,
Yeah,
sure,
thank
Satish ji.
you. Great
Sure.
seeing you.
Thank you very much.
Any other questions, please?
Dear friends, we don't need compliments. Of course, compliments are always welcome. But at this time, if you have any query, any guesses, any questions which may come in your mind related to Travelog, or
Sir, Mrinalini madam wants to speak something.
yeah, please.
Who? Sorry, who is this?
Somebody just raised hand. I think it was Mrinalini.
I think there is one
Mrinalini, ma'am?
NK.
Okay.
NK is saying something.
Yeah, and it. Sarafanas mentioned about the decline of this trade was in the hand of class.
Maybe can we give the mic to NK, the user with the name NK?
Yes, sir. It's
Yeah.
unmuted.
In case sir, already you are unmuted, please go ahead. Ask your question.
I think he would like rather to say through chat. Okay, so we got the question. Afanasin mentioned after the decline of Mongols, the trade was in the hand of class of people. I could not get like where or which place you are talking about. Like when Afanasi, after the decline of Mongols, the trade was in the hand of class of people. Like where? Mongols were in many places. So that clarification is required about the question. I'll be rather happy with the questions. Do we have some questions on Facebook, Kashyap ji?
No, sir. No, sir. There was
Because-
only one and we covered it.
Okay, sometimes it takes 5 to 7 seconds to reach this telecast to Facebook. So it is generally delayed with the 7 to 8 seconds. So whatever maybe we are saying, whatever we are discussing here, that will appear after 5 to 7 seconds over there.
Okay,
There
there's
is,
one question.
Yeah.
From Mrinalini ma'am, there is one question has come.
Okay.
The question is, should I repeat the question?
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I
where-
just got the questions.
Where do we locate socially, political, and culturally Annabhau Sathe's literature in 2020?
See, first of all, I would like to say that you can get such kind of literature, I think, online. A lot of things are online. Even I found, Russian, the books which were translated into Russian in 1916s. We got 3 books which were published in Russia at that time, or we can just say officially as former Union, former USSR. Then these books were there online, and we tried to trace them out, and somehow we got a copy. Of course, I'm talking about the Annabhau Sathe's books in Russia. So when we were there in Russia, so we tried to find out which books were translated, and we found 3 books. And with the assistance of the Mumbai University and the MGD group, I think they are planning to republish those books into Russian, to republish such kind of publications. But yes, what you are talking about, the literature based of Annabhau Sathe on online, I've seen a lot of platforms where you can find this treasurer of Annabhau Sathe online, of course. And at this time, online is the most safest place. And later on, of course, you can just try to find out the universities like near to you, or maybe just Google it, like where the libraries based on which has the collection of Annabhau Sathe. Like similarly, like Mumbai University, I'm sure it has, and the Pune University I've seen in our JNU's library, it is there. Generally, you can find it in library because publisher do not have this time this kind of literature at this time. You meant to say that relevance of his literature in 2020. Okay, all right. See, I have not gone through his whole literature. I have just started, like I've just gone through the travelogue and I've gone through the brief of his literature, and what I found that, that literature always in general teaches you a lot of things. As I said, that what I found is, like fascinating about the Annabhau Sathe's work, that he is teaching you to become a human, you to become a teacher, not in a, like which is there or who is there in the school or college, but teacher in life. So teacher becomes only when you learn from yourself, from your experiences. As like his experiences, his interpretation given in the books, that teaches us a lot. And we try to follow, like, that whatever like we like, which we like, the components which we like, we try to follow them. And that is what, like, it is, we can say that it is relevant everywhere, even in today, even it will be relevant tomorrow.
Sir, there is one question from Dr. Nilu Khoshla.
Yeah.
She is asking which tribes were controlling the trade after Mongols?
Yeah, that question, what is like, basically I asked about this thing, like which place, Nilu, I think this is Nilu Khoshla ji.
Yes, yes, sir.
Okay, we requested to clarify, like what basically which place she's talking about. Is she talking about some particular place or what?
I think she's talking about the trade in the Eurasian region. Might be. I think that she's trying to highlight this question.
See, there is a whole history of Mongols and Tatars like who were ruling some particular areas, and even while Afanasi Nikitin was coming, he was also looted, and it was always like not safe at that time. Like currently we are safe. Like when we travel, we feel safe. Of course, not always, but at that time that was the tough time, and people were afraid to carry on some this kind of journey. And that while he was coming with his team, with his fellow travelers, he was looted, and some of them were also injured and killed. And it was already that foreseen by the people, like because all the travelers, they knew that if you're going to a new route, or there are some routes like where the pirates are there, or maybe some dacoits are there, like they loot people who are traveling or who are just going through the sea, or even through the forest. So at that time, like it was not only the some of the groups, but of course not only Mongols, but also, yes, you're right, like some of the groups were there. And even like before Afanasi Nikitin started his journey, he got his support. It is said that he's got support from his ruler. That they also motivated him. They also supported him into his journey, and his fellow travelers' journey. They also helped him to carry on to this journey. And of course, like it was earlier, like if you know that the history of course, I'm sure that you know already the history of Russia at that time in 1460s. Like there were small territories which were ruled by various like different type of rulers, and of course then it was not a country type of thing at that time. It was called, of course, Rus at that time, and where like these rulers were ruling. And although there was Tsar, there were emperor at that time, but at this time, like what I was talking about the Tver, that they're like the ruler or that particular area, they helped him and they just supported him into this one. But even then, while he was coming, he was on his journey, he got stuck, or he got affected or attacked by these some kind of people. Yes, Kashyap ji, Balaram ji, any other questions we have? Okay,
Sir, there is one question from Vare, sir.
Yes.
He's asking how to join your Russian class. Please give some information about that.
How to join my Russian classes? We have started, of course, online classes with the students, but of course, it's not open for all. And later on, of course, we are planning. Of course, we have just started a YouTube channel in which we'll be like having various kind of programs. We'll be having various kind of techniques or basic Russians. Maybe through that, of course, or of course, like if you want to join, you are welcome to join JNU. Come with us, and we'll be happy to teach you or learn from you in this life. I think it's always not teaching, but it is also learning. We also learn from students. Yes.
Sir, there is one more question from Vare, sir. He's asking, we found 3 books after 55 years. Means there is possibility that many more are there. Where to find it?
Yes, there are possibilities. Like, that when we were there, like when we were planning for that conference, that huge conference of 300 people and more who traveled especially from India to Russia. And then, of course, I remember that how difficult it was for Vare sir, for Deshpande sir, for Kashyap, for many of the organizers to handle that kind of people, even at that foreign land. And we were happy that there was nothing wrong happened at that time, and everything got so smoothly and safely, and we all got back safe. That was all wonderful, that about that conference. And when we were preparing for that one, we had this question that can we have his books, which were translated into Russian in hard copy. So we tried to trace whatever was possible or whatever was found on the internet first. And then we found that some books were not available on the internet. So we tried to contact the publishing houses, the people who are having it, who are reselling it. So, but somehow we could not get it. So we found that then later on we visited the Russian State Library, which is called also Lenin's Library. And there we found that his books are there. So we got into that library with the help of one of the volunteers, and we got the copy of those books. And then we are just studying them and trying to republish it. And of course, what Varia is saying, that of course it's right. Like it may be possible that many more books were there. I found that in St. Petersburg there is a center. Even in Moscow, there was a center like where Marathi was being taught. And I'm sure that we'll get some more details from these centers. Of course, the people who were teaching Marathi over there, who are the literary experts of Marathi, they also acted as translator of those stories. And of course, they are now very senior, and then they are not working anymore. And we are trying to trace them out, and we're trying to find out whether some more literature can be found in Russian, which was translated from English or from Marathi to Russian of Annabhau Sathe.
Sir, there is another question
by Professor Deshpande and Vari sir and his team. I think they will be looking forward also with such details.
Sir,
Yes.
there is another question by Vare sir.
Yeah.
Whether you have any idea what exact number of books of Annabhau Sathe which is translated in Russian language?
Can you repeat the question?
What is exact number of books of Annabhau Sathe which are translated in Russian language? Any idea about that?
No, this detail could not be found. But it was found only like many of his works were translated into more than 27 languages. I think it is something like that. If I'm not wrong, it is something like that. Like more than his works were translated into more than 27 languages. But we could not find such kind of detail like how many are translated already in the in the Russian language.
Sir, there is another question from Rinalini Chauhan madam. The question is, what's the relevance of Annabhau Sathe's literature in 2020?
That we have already taken.
Okay.
This question is already taken.
Okay.
Maybe
Sir,
we can
please.
Yeah.
Sir, please enlighten us about your relationship with Russia. Sunil Vare sir.
My relation with Russia.
Yes, sir.
It is something like that. My students say that it is my village, and I consider it my second home. Because
Yes, sir. And
we try to
but-
visit as and when it is possible. Even for of course, we visit it for academic purpose, and we learn a lot while visiting Russia. And my relation is something like that. That is my second home.
one leg over here, one leg in Moscow.
Not like that. Not like that.
Sir, there is another question by Devidas Kalwale sir. Sorry.
Yeah.
Are you planning any program in Russia in the upcoming years?
Well, this question answer to this question can be sought from Professor Deshpande and from Vareji, who may be planning such kind of programs, because they are the key person who plan, and whenever they required me and us, then we are there with them. So maybe program in Russia may be planned. That is like answer can be sought from Vares or Deshpande sir.
Sir, there is a comment from Dipti madam. She
Yeah.
says that 3 books have been already translated in Russian.
Yes, 3 books like which we were talking, like 3 books we already found. And we are assuming, we has this hypothetical thing that there may be many more books which were translated into Russian, but we are not having that. So we'll try to find out, this time we were trying to find out from Petersburg. So we are just planning to go to Petersburg especially to find out and meet people over there and to find out which other books or stories or works were translated into Russian.
Any more questions?
I think, yeah.
I think there are no more questions on Facebook. We are planning a program this year. There is a comment from Dipti Madam, sir.
Okay. I was looking like where you are getting messages or questions from Vare sir. I just found it is on the Facebook. Oh, thank you very much.
Yes, sir.
For keeping an eye on Facebook as well. And here as well. Thank you.
Welcome, sir.
Okay, Sanjay sir, Sanjay Deshpande sir's message is there. 3 books have been translated in Russian. We are planning a program this year. Okay, so answer to the question is already here. We are planning a program this year. I hope like when everything is over, like this pandemic situation is over, then plan, as Pandey sir, Deshpande sir said, that plan may be made or program may be planned. I think Mirinalini Chavanji has raised the hand. Can we give them a mic?
Yes, sir. She is unmuted.
Okay, okay.
Just a minute.
Mirinalini ji, you need to unmute from your side.
Yes.
Okay, maybe they're not getting the voice. Okay, that's okay. So Dipti Deshpande ma'am also raised the hand, I think. Dipti ma'am, is there anything? Is there any question?
Sir, meanwhile, Rajesh ji also raised his hand. I have unmuted him. Rajesh ji.
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
Rajesh ji, Rajesh Dongre ji. Ji, Rajesh ji.
Sir, good evening, sir, all.
Good evening.
Sir, my question is, how do people of Russia look towards Annabhau Sate, only an author or a social reformer or a great leader of Matan community in Russia?
See, what happens is like, there was a gap, or we can just say vacuum period. So when
Okay.
1960s, what I found in while I was studying Annabhau Sate and into Russia, like how what is the role and what is the relevance of his works in today in Russia. What I found, like he was quite popular, maybe quite popular during the time of 1960s or 70s when the peak, the relation of India and USSR were on the peak. So his literature was being read because it was there in the library, in the one of the major, biggest library. Just a minute, just a minute. So this is also one of the advantages of working from home.
Continue.
Yeah. So my daughter came in between. Okay. So what I was saying, that what we found, like it may be possible that he was quite popular at that time because his works were translated. Because it's not like one can translate a ABCD writer. They will of course take the people who are popular. So that shows that popularity is there. And second proof which says that it is there in the collection of the library, which is located in Moscow and which is considered as Russia's biggest library. That is Russian State Library, which was earlier called Lenin Library. And that book is there that shows that yes, there were some popularity at that time. But after the fall of Soviet Union, that vacuum period has been created. And that when Professor Deshpande and when Vare Saab
when they proposed this kind of conference in collaboration with Pushkin State Institute, they even, you know, that when we introduced them, that when the proposal was sent to Pushkin Institute, they were first of all like quite surprised, like who this personality is, and they started asking us. They started asking the embassy, and that who this person is, who's this personality, this Annabhau Sathe. They Googled it. They found a lot of details. They found the postal stamps. They found, of course, the award details and all, and they verified it from the embassy also, because this generation, maybe they may not have this kind of knowledge, or they cannot. There may be possibility that since like books are not there, right? The major reason is like that literature is not available, and that's why that vacuum has been created. And this is the reason, like Ware Saab and Deshpande Saab has already planned to republish his 3 works, which will just remove that vacuum period, and then Annabhau Sathe may become popular again, because he was there earlier, and then he can return back. I hope I have answered to your question.
Yes, I wanted to say something. May I?
Sure, sir.
Yes, thank you very much, Sonu sir, for your very enlightening session today. A different kind of way. You always give something new every time. This is first thing. Second thing, as far as my knowledge is concerned, I was told by Guzel Strilkova during our last visit, not last visit, in September, that 3 books have been published, translated and published in Russian by Russian publication, Soviet publication, and we have got those 3 copies. But we try to translate some more books from Marathi to Russian with your help. Of course, we will take some help of others also, but you will be the leading force here to get his work translated. This is first thing. Second thing, actually we have planned, and you know that when in St. Petersburg also we had some conversation with concerned people, and I am still in touch with them, and we have planned one program in St. Petersburg and in Moscow, but because of this situation, pandemic situation, we could not do it. But I hope that when situation normalizes, everything will be sorted out, and we will arrange this program. Absolutely no problem. That's not 1 but 2 programs. Third thing, Ware Saab asked about the Russian language classes. Yes, he is very keen. Not all, there are many, nearly 25, but the university system, everyone knows how this government machinery functions. So therefore, we try to start online courses, and I take some guidance from you, and surely we will start classes, and we have Riya, we have Mukta, Vijay Damodare, Taranjit, Rakesh. So they will help us in conducting these classes. And of course, Kashyap will be the main pillar behind this to push everyone. Just I wanted to share my views with this.
Thank you. Thank you very much, sir. And I think I take it as a full stop also, because we have this habit of talking hours and hours. So I think this discussion will not be stopped unless like somebody puts a full stop. So thank you very much, sir, for inviting me. And of course, I'll be happy to answer to the questions if you have. Like you can later on post through Kashyap or through Sanjay Deshpande, sir. And we can interact later on. And of course, I would also like to invite you all to come to JNU, of course, after this pandemic situation, and we'll have a good tea and samosa, which is well known and famous in India, at least. The JNU's chai and samosa.
Yes, sure.
Sure, sir. Thank you, sir.